Who is the hyperscaler, Cristiano?
I'll tell you all about it on June 24th. It's going to be 3 days after my birthday.
June the 24th, we've got to hold on to. But what does this signal about? You have been a man who's committed to telling the market that you are expanding the market. It's not just about mobile phones, where Qualcomm has really dominated the market share, but chips now in automobiles, in IoT, but really in the data center. What sort of TAM, what sort of expansion of Qualcomm's business will this mean for you?
Yeah, look, this is a great question, and I want to maybe start the answer by saying, why would not anybody, bet on Qualcomm diversification efforts? We started as a mobile company. If you look at what we're doing right now, we expanded into PC. We became one of the largest providers of semiconductor to automotive. We're going to industrial. We're going to robotics. We're going to broadband and networking. And I think the data center was a natural thing. We have been working on this for the past couple of years. We've been consistently saying we're building assets. We acquire companies like AlphaWave. We have a pretty good CPU, a very good accelerator. We're not a small company. We ship 40 billion chips. So I don't know why people would bet against Qualcomm, but I think it's okay. We're just been on this road to execution like we have done on the other business. And we're very exciting because I think what's really happening right now, as we enter this next phase of AI, we went from training to inference, now agents, which actually would generate demand for tokens. It provides an opportunity across the entire Qualcomm business. All of those devices where people are going to have agents running, whether it's phones and PCs, they're going to go to an upgrade cycle. And then some of the assets that we build create opportunity for data center.
Cristiano, specificity is so important here. You said, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, you said it was an ASIC product, which I think the market's looked at and is a little bit surprised. So you are not doing your own chip, you're not doing merchant silicon, your own designs for market, you're doing an ASIC with someone. So we have said that our data center product, and I need to make sure I don't front run my investor day, but I'm trying. Our data, I understand that. my data center product offering includes 3 vectors. One is CPU. We are developing a CPU, and we're very flexible. We can provide a full SoC. We can provide chiplets. So that's one asset. The other asset is an accelerator. We have the accelerator with an innovative memory architecture. We don't need HBM for the disaggregated inference. The other one is the ability to do custom chip, which when we acquire AlphaWave, they have both a lot of IP, which is important for custom ASIC, as well as a custom chip team. When you put everything together, it creates a lot of opportunities for Qualcomm. Now, here's what is important to understand. The data center market is highly concentrated. There are about 6 to 8 companies that represent the majority of it. And what you see, what's happening in the market right now, a lot of solutions are becoming bespoke. They're no longer just merchant solutions. So I think as Qualcomm entered the space, you should expect that we will offer a lot of flexibility, and we'll leverage our supply chain and our design capability to do bespoke products. And I think that's what we're doing. 4 to 6 companies. That's interesting. So this depends on your definition of hyperscaler. Like, for example, Meta is not a cloud computing company, but it operates at hyperscale, its own data center infrastructure. So maybe that's what we're talking about here, the definition of what is or is not a hyperscaler.
Look, I'm just going to cut to the chase. We're talking about a large hyperscalers. You should be thinking about one of the large cloud companies that we have today. It's a scale business. So I think that's what we're talking about.
Ooh, getting closer. The potential customers, therefore, are 4 to 6, but they're huge. And maybe they're even more than that. So just, can you get specific about how big the opportunity is for this particular part of the business? How much you think it could ramp up revenue? So that's something you're able to push ahead of before the investment meeting.
Look, we don't get. I don't want to get ahead of our skis. We're executing. We're very pleased with the engagement, and what we said is it will be material in fiscal 27. Now, if you look at the scale of the Qualcomm revenue base, I think anything material to Qualcomm is probably in the multiple of $1 billion in fiscal 27. But look, we're just starting, and we're very happy with the progress we're making.
Cristiano, I think back very fondly to when you and I were on stage together at the Bloomberg Tech Summit. I think it was 3 years ago now. And we talked about the world where we switched to inference, running on device. But actually, Qualcomm's story has really changed in that time, right? So in this world where we're moving to inference and we're moving to agentic, how are you positioning Qualcomm, right? The CPU is important, but you must think differently to how you did 3 years ago.
Look, frankly, it's actually playing out exactly the way we thought. And I know we have a limited time, but when you start running agents and when you start running things like OpenClaw and a bunch of other claws, actually what is fascinating to see what's happening in the phone industry, every Android OEM right now is launching their own claw. And the way agents work, they actually operate your device for you. So what you're going to see at the end, you're going to see a lot of activity in the cloud, and you're going to see also activity on the device. And it's all going to magically work. I almost like to say this. I am sure you have probably 200 apps on your phone or close to that. We never have a discussion about how much each app is doing on the cloud or doing on the device. It just works. And I think that's how we see those agents working. They look at your data, they look at things on your device, they do things for you, and they do stuff on the cloud. And I think that's why I believe this actually builds into the Qualcomm assets and the fact that we're present everywhere. Our engagement with the cloud companies right now, they look at our devices at endpoints for AI. And that's also exciting. I think we're talking with all the AI companies about their new and exciting devices.
What's less exciting has been supply chain disruption, but you were really clear with investors and they liked it. Quickly, with 30 seconds. Memory, you see an endpoint, at least in China.
Yeah, look, the reality is everything needs memory, and AI drives more memory demand. They drove a lot of demand at the data center. It caused a crunch on the consumer electronics. The good thing is we now see the bottom. As I said in the call, we're under shipping market demand. We look at customer activations of devices and sell-through data. We see what the demand is. That's now we can call the bottom. Right. And, there's going to be more supply and more suppliers, and we'll see how this is going to play out.